Going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHEI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foot we're going to seize the ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make that near and dear to you that you would like to be able to. Anyway.
We interrupt this disturbing broadcast from Sleepy Creepy Joe Biden to bring you the following live from Central Pennsylvania. It's Chris Wyatt Reports. Stay tuned.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Well, folks, it's almost time to say goodbye to Joe. Well, folks, just double checking the sound there. Never trusted. I was on earlier. Same microphone, no changes. Welcome back. That's High Res and Jimmy Levy from the time when the Defeat the Mandates rally was taking place, and the effort was to stop the jab. Well, welcome back to the program, folks. Broadcasting from the land of the free and the home of the brave. Right here in central Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth, sometimes known as the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the birthplace of freedom, the birthplace of our nation, the First Nations capital located in Philadelphia, where the Continental Congress met and declared their independence from the evil empire, also known as Great Britain. Welcome back to the program, folks. It's Tuesday, November 26, 2024. Just 2 days until Thanksgiving here in America. Big holiday. Don't worry, I will be broadcasting Thanksgiving Day. No issues there. I work every day unless I can't get to the broadcast booth or get on the phone. So thanks for being here. And my apologies for cutting the stream short yesterday for the 117 people who were here at the time. Had to deal with a crisis. A disgruntled employee who had left working for the Veterans Organization not only reported the organization with illegitimate complaints to the higher headquarters for the veterans organizations, and then had made me waste 3 hours of my life responding to bogus comments from a person who didn't have the courtesy to actually talk to me as the president of the board or complain to the manager, just simply decided they were going to get even with the manager because they didn't like the manager, and so made my life difficult. And to that person, you're a shameful, disgusting human being, and please don't ever come back in the building. And then on top of that, the person went beyond that and called the Department of Agriculture and made bogus allegations about the kitchen and the condition of the kitchen, and also made genuine complaints about the kitchen. Genuine complaints that, had they been shared with the president of the board, they would have been dealt with. It's impossible for a building that size, of that many people coming and going, for people who are not paid employees, simply volunteers, combat veterans who donate their time, to be going in the building and finding every single thing that's wrong with it. It's up to employees to clean the place, maintain it, and report any deficiencies that need maintenance. But that's not what happens with these slimy little people who have evil, vindictive minds. And get stuffed is what I have to say to them. So the Department of Agriculture came yesterday and threatened to close the place down, but that was based off the complaints that the person made, most of which turned out to be invalid. But it did prompt the Department of Agriculture to start a deep dive inspection of the place, and they did turn up some genuine issues that need to be addressed, which were addressed yesterday, and they're back today. So I don't think I'll have to cut out here early, but if I do, now you know the reason why. I'm just checking to see. They've been around for about an hour, so hopefully there's no problems and it's been resolved. Okay, so training after 50. Oh, that's an interesting username. Kevin Zilla's back. Welcome to you. Val Cooper, Meerkat, Vilma Rasmus, Dylan Combrick, Teresa. Kevin's already said Kevin. There's Erica. Erica, how's it going? Chris Stein says hello. Kristen. And then, by the way, this morning I interviewed Cobus Visa from the Bulls and Devin Williams. That was interesting. Neville says, shout out to my mom, Meg, who's celebrating her 91st. Wow. Neville, happy birthday to, I don't know her surname. If I get it wrong, I apologize. But to Meg, we'll just say Meg, she's 91. Wow. Maybe if it's Neg Purden, I don't know. But happy birthday to you. Wow. Die gnädige Frau, gnädige Dame. Also ich hoffe, Sie werden heute ein schönes Geburtstag haben. Das ist ja fabelhaft. 91 Jahre alt, das ist ja kaum zu glauben, ich hoffe, dass sie haben ein sehr gutes Leben gehabt bis jetzt und dass sie leben immer noch 10, 20 oder noch 30 Jahren, das wäre fabelhaft, n'est-ce pas? Ja, ein bisschen Französisch am Ende da. Yeah, okay, so to your mother, happy 91st birthday. I hope that it's a lovely and many more to come, in the 10, 20, 30 more birthdays as she enjoys it, and I hope that she's had a lovely life thus far and it continues for her. That's incredible, Neville. Happy birthday to your mom. I hope she hears this. And welcome to Paulie. Paulie, the brains behind the operation. We wouldn't be here without Paulie. Everybody knows that. Actually, Paulie's a pretty good egg. Allison Johnson's here. I said Eric already. Who else? Why is the entire African coming to Cape Town? Who's coming to Cape Town? Ronaldo says, don't unplug the mic. It's fine when you talk the first time. Okay. Thank you, Ronaldo. I didn't do it, and thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. I'm looking at buying a new microphone. I've got this one, but I need a boom microphone for certain videos. And the problem with this is I can't use it with a green screen because then everything just goes all wonky. So I can only use that for interviews and videos I'm preparing. But thank you, Ronaldo. How's it going, Ronaldo? I hope that you got a fair arrival from yesterday when I had to drop off, and I was able to divert folks to your stream because I know you broadcast on Monday. Kevin says, Cape Town cramped already. You can all go to PE. Why? There's no water in PE. There's no water in Grahamstown. There's no water in PE. Why would you go there? Hakan Eggman says Streamlabs is not fab. Yeah, well, it was never a problem until about 4 months ago, and now it's been a problem. I haven't contacted them. I've just been so busy, and I actually need to do that. The problem is I'm preparing. Today I have to go out and beg for donations from businesses to help with tomorrow's event at the Veterans Organization. It used to be known as Stag Night, but I did ask the question, why in 2023 are we still calling it Stag Night? And considering last year, the event, we had 60% women, 40% men, it seems pretty foolish to exclude 60% of the people. That was a bunch of the revenues. So especially the women, they bought a lot of the raffle tickets last year. So hopefully we'll have a big crowd tomorrow. We've advertised. Of course, we've got some people trying to undermine the place, so we'll see if people come back. A lot of people enjoying the place, so there you go. By the way, I did steam cleaning of the carpets in the main ballroom of that place the other day. The carpets are old now, 20 plus years, and it took me 4 hours to steam clean. Oh, I was exhausted and sore after that. By steam cleaning, I saved the organization $800 US. So about 15,000 Rand we saved by not giving it to a business and doing it ourselves. And we got the same results. Just I suffered. Lynette is here, wishing me many happy birthdays. So let's go ahead and get to where it's usually at. Let me see if I can find that. It's going to be under this folder. Where is that folder? Go to, there it is. Okay, got the folder. And this is for your mom. There you go. There you go, Neville. That's for your mom. Hope she likes purple. Deep purple. No, not the band, the color. Anyway, so yeah, Erica says she hasn't heard God Over the Government for a long time. Well, I had some moaning about the music. People didn't like the music. People didn't like me playing the music. And as I said, when I don't put anything in the intro, and by the way, as a couple of people who are very adept at YouTube pointed out, a lot of the main big people with 500,000, 2 million, 3 million followers and with thousands of people watching the broadcast always start their program with music or intro stuff, and they don't really get around what they want to talk about for 10 or 15 minutes sometimes. I get there much sooner than that. Although not today, because we're chatting. Yeah, so God Over the Government, that's High Res and Jimmy Levy. That was a pretty awesome song when it came out. I was actually there when that was filmed. I didn't even realize it. When I was walking towards the Lincoln Memorial on the Defeat the Mandates rally that I covered as a journalist back then, 2 years ago now, something like that, in January. It's cold as bejesus. I was walking to the Lincoln Memorial, and I started to come down the side where High Res and Jimmy Levy were, but I didn't know they were up there. And the crowd was a little thick, and I'm like, it's hardly anybody on the other side. So I walked in the other side of the reflecting pool. I looked across, and I saw them as they were walking, and they were performing. I was like, wow, I could have got in a video. Could have been in a music video. I could have been Paula Abdul. Straight up, don't tell me that you really wanted me. Love me forever. Anyway, yeah, it could have been Paula Abdul. It was not nearly as hot or the dancing. Yeah. Anyway, I'm talking about Paula Abdul in 1984, not 2024. Anyway, who else? Arc Precision's here. Chris Ayler says, that's an artist that understands the world. Yeah. High Res does understand the world. He's from Pittsburgh area, if I'm not mistaken, a Jewish American. He does great stuff. Anyway, Neville, that's a cake for your mom. Happy birthday to your mom on her 91st birthday. Folks, if you have a birthday, you would like to say shout out to someone, just tell me. If I miss it in the chat, someone pointed out a couple of times. I always, if I have the opportunity, wish people well on big events like that. Hakan Emgen in from the Netherlands, welcome to you. George Steinberg in from Heckport. Lynette says a cool and windy, cloudy Cape Town. Sounds like Cape Town. Charles likes the other song. I've been getting flooded with videos of the South African drug gangs. I don't have any room to talk as American, but wow, you guys are a colorful bunch. South African drug gangs. I'm not sure why you're getting those, Light Rain, out in the Pacific Northwest. I don't get them. This video is the longest I've ever been able to listen to. When I cut it off, Hardest. I cut that off so you didn't even have to listen the whole time. All right, Alan Kotza, Liam Minar, Hakan Engman, James Bowie, Gus, Erica, Meerkat, Charles Van Olsen. Sean said, I had a birthday last week. Where's my cake? Well, okay, Sean, there's your cake. My apologies. I don't recall you mentioning it. Happy belated birthday to Sean Volschenk. Not that Afrikaans Volskank, but Volschenk, the proper German pronunciation of it. Happy birthday to Sean. I hope that you had a good day and did something interesting other than look at the ocean. Man, now I forgot what subject the news Chris was on when he left yesterday. I didn't drop the news. I've kept those news stories, and we're going to pick up from there and cover those stories plus additional news today. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first off, again, I always express this, but let me just say this right now, folks. You don't have to be here. I don't have to be here. You know, it's like Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Mr. Spicoli, what are you doing ordering a pizza in class? Well, Mr. Han, I figured since you're here and we're here, this is our time. And I thought I'd have some pizza on our time. Of course, Mr. Han says, that's Ray Walston, says, you're very right, Mr. Spicoli. Who would like a piece of pizza? And he gives away his entire pizza. But you don't have to be here. I don't have to be here. We give our time to each other. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. There's 85 people here, but some of you are negligent. I only see 49 likes. I'm not going to give a stripper chat. That's Ronaldo's domain, not mine. Arc Precision, I need a cake too. Wedding anniversary today. Are you serious? Arc Precision, how long have you been married? 2, 3 years? Still a newlywed? Somehow I don't think it's that short a period. Well, that's the first time I think we've done a birthday cake for a wedding. I don't have a wedding cake. We'll have to get a wedding cake up, so my apologies. And we'll find a wedding cake that we can put up there. But we give you the happy birthday cake because it's the only cake I have in the hopper. So anyway, thank you for that, and I'll consider that. No one's ever, Charles, don't. I'm dead sexy, man. Don't you know in Africa I'm known as a devastatingly handsome white man? 36 years. Wow, Arctic, that's impressive. That means either you're really happy and in love or you just have two stubborn people. Did someone say stripper chat? Indeed. Carter just ran for the other room. Anyway, I was very involved with Swartberg moths. I don't know what that's all about. Erica's birthday's coming and my birthday's coming. So let me just be very clear about something right now because Ronaldo's here and I know he's going to bring this up. I have a birthday this year and I'm just going to relate the story. I think I've told it before, but not everybody knows it. Don't encourage it. Oh, you mean for Ronaldo? Don't encourage Ronaldo. Yeah, but he's not on camera. So when I was 29, which is a couple days ago, in case you missed that, back when I was 29, my mother tried to make a good effort because I was born on Christmas Day to contact me wherever I was in the world. You're welcome for the cook. Wherever I was in the world, whether I was deployed, and that was not possible in Saudi Arabia. She wasn't able to reach me because of where I was at, but I was able to get back and call her. Or, Europe, Africa, didn't matter. She tried his best to reach me each year. And I think I was in Europe when I turned 29, or when I was 29. So I turned 30 that year, but I had a little difficulty turning 30. I wasn't too thrilled about it. No gray hair, no rosacea, a few pounds lighter, and anyway. So I just didn't like the idea of turning 30. So my mother said, happy birthday. I said, thank you. And she said, Merry Christmas. I said, thank you. She said, so you're 30 this year, right? And I said, no, I'm 29. To which my mother paused and then replied, no, that can't be right. You're 30. I said, no, Mom, I'm 29. No, wait. No, you're 30. I said, no, think about it. She thought about it. And I said, if I'm 29, that means you're still 49. And she paused. She said, I like your math. So for 11 years, I was 29 until I turned 40. I was okay turning 40. I didn't mind turning 40. So This year, I'm 59, and next year I'll be 59, and the year after I'll be 59. I think for the next 11 years I'm going to say I'm 59. So I just thought I'd share that with you. So if people ask me how old I am next year or the year after, you can just tell them I'm 59. Oh, remember Order of the Tin Hats? Yeah, okay, I know what that is. Okay. Time is precious in life, so giving us some of your time is giving us part of life. It is, Kevin. It really is. Yeah, Paulie likes that story. Hey, it's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I got a million of them. Anyway, right, let's get back to the news before everybody disappears on us. And, well, hey, thanks, folks, really. So we got tomorrow, Wednesdays with the Colonel. And this weekend, we're back to URC action on the Rugby channel. We didn't quite get to 8,000 subscribers. Maybe we'll get lucky and get some this weekend, but I don't know. It's fascinating to me how people find my Rugby channel, and most of them just absolutely love it, and they come back. I mean, those who actually watch. I mean, if they're just looking for free broadcasts, they don't hang around. But those, so, you know, it's interesting. We've grown. We've doubled the channel since June, really. The number of subscribers, we're almost at 8,000. Sound like your late mother who was an agent and I. Yeah, Marilyn, I think you and I talked about this. I think we talked about it. Yeah, your MOS 25 December and me 30 December. Okay. I had a friend who refused to turn 50, so he stayed 49 for many years. There you go. See, Leovan, it's look, I didn't claim to be original. I just claimed to be me. I just claimed to be. By the way, last night, so I was tired after all that stuff going on yesterday. I came back. It was too late to do any night owls. By the time I got sorted out, got something to eat. By the way, I should give you a little heads up. Because I was having an issue here in my chest, which was bothering me. I was concerned. Maybe a cholesterol issue, maybe it was heart issue, but it's not heart related. It's just a muscle thing. But my doctor, whom first time in my life I've seen a guy more than 3 times, he is my doctor now, so which means the Army will probably, he'll leave and there'll be someone else. But really a dedicated and thorough guy. He takes things seriously. I had had my blood work done yesterday. Busy. I had a very good day until that Department of Agriculture inspection at the Veterans Organization made it all go south. We had to install a new water heater. Anyway, so while I was waiting for the plumbers to come, there was no hot water. So in the one, you can't run a place without hot water. It broke. What are the odds it breaks that day? Yep, that's what happened. It's always the way it works. Anyway, so it was 25 years old or 24 years old, so it was due to be replaced. But anyway, we really can't afford it, but we did it. So I had a telephonic appointment with my doc. He called me back. My blood work came back. My lipids were good. My cholesterol was good for someone my age, but high for Chris, but still good. Around that 200 mark, so that's pretty good. But I'm accustomed a little bit lower than that. And my bilirubin was good, which is something traditionally genetically has been an issue for me. And across the board, my blood sugar was not great, but it was fine. But anyway, it was enough to prompt me to get back in the exercise mode. So this morning, I walked for about 45 minutes, got back on that exercise horse. It was painful with the hip, but it became less painful as I went. So, you suck it up and move on. But it's a good medical report. Things are pretty good. Going to follow up in 6 months. But the problem with my leg, I'm going to get an appointment to go back and see him again. We may have to do something more serious with that. But all the other stuff came out pretty good. So that's good to see. The chest x-ray, he was able to see a few things that were there, trauma from combat that I'm aware of, something that got me a 0% disability rating, even though it affects my life. But anyway, so he saw that. And good news from the doc. So that was nice to hear. All right, so ban on men using women's toilets in USA. Yeah, that's coming. Metric or imperial? It's measured by beats. What do you mean? It's measured by beats per second, right? Isn't it? Like 118 over 58. Did he confirm you still have blood? Yes, Neville, and it's green. He said I'm a Vulcan. It's green. It's not red. On birthdays, my grandfather was sent away to escape Ukrainian communism. Only knew he was born in the spring, but not the year. Well, that's crazy. Yeah. So he could have picked a birthday. So glad you got answers in your health. Date is nice. Yeah, Sean Egros, it is nice. It's always helpful to know what's going on. So yeah, I know I've always, despite, a life of very rigorous life of combat and military service and, deployments and no sleep and getting shot at, and all kinds of stuff, incredible stress. Despite all that, incredibly good health. And that is no small part because I've always pretty much taken care of myself. I'm not a smoker. I rarely drink. I don't carouse. So yeah, it's paid off. But did get a little. See, this is the thing argument I always made when it comes to medical stuff. We could reduce the instances of chronic lifestyle disease, which are costing us trillions of dollars every year. We could reduce those instances by simply having lifestyle impacts, and lifestyle impact would be a consequence of a regular visit to a general practitioner, and you get to see what's going on. I haven't had blood work done for some time, so I was a little concerned because I put some weight on since I came back from South Africa, which is something I'd never been able to do before. I gain a pound here or there, a pound there, but I've put on a few pounds, and while I'm not obese, I'm not skinny as I've always been my entire life. So that was already pushing me to get back to exercise, but the hip was bothering me, so I had excuses. But getting the blood work back, it was good, but not outstanding. I'm accustomed to outstanding, so I have high standards, and so that has prompted me to get back. Now, let's see if I stick with it, or I do like 90% of the other people and say I'm going to do something and then beg off when it's easy. So I think I'm going to stick with it. And then Radine says, what's your opinion on RFK? Radine, I guess you haven't been here. I've said it many, many times. Don't really like the guy. I have respect for him. I think he's a brilliant pick for HHS, and I think it's going to shake up a lot of things, including the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry. So I think it's good. What was that fat guy called again? Austin Powers. Fat bastard. Get in my belly, baby. The other white meat. Give me them baby back ribs. Give me them baby back. Get in my belly. It's fat bastard. Evacuation complete. Yeah, it's the same guy from Shrek. It's Mike Myers, yeah. Eat more meat. Yes, that'll work. Eat more meat. Yeah, no, anyway, so fat bastard. Oh, my goodness. All right, my mobile is back to 100%. I'm going to need that as I go beg for donations later on. The other white meat, yep. He's bat crap crazy, but you have seen the Dems picks the last words. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Arctic. I mean, compare him to the guy who dresses as a woman with a mustache and a bald head and steals women's luggage, but is responsible for nuclear safety. Remember that clown? Or, Dr. Rachel Levine, got a Surgeon General or Health and Human Services Deputy. I mean, look at the people he's picked. Pete Buttigieg. I mean, Anthony Blinken is one of the most sensible ones, and he's a lunatic too. Yeah, RFK looks. He's also very fit. The guy is very buff. So yeah, RFK looks quite normal compared to the Democratic cabinet that we've seen for the past 4 years. So in that light, I had no problem with him. Right, 107 people currently here, so you must be enjoying the BS chat. So, again, folks, we open the broadcast with High Res and Jimmy Levy, and yeah, there's a great song I love from Michael Stanley Band. Michael Stanley passed away recently. I was a huge fan of the Michael Stanley Band, MSB as they were known in Ohio. They were a Ohio band that were big in Ohio and a few neighboring states. They had a couple top 40 hits in the U.S., I think 3 or 4, but never really caught on and took off. A 1970s band that evolved. They were kind of a club band, really evolved into a pop rock band, and they had some really great songs. But their last album they did as a band was called You Can't Fight Fashion. It came out when I got out of the Army in 1987, and they had a song, You Can't Fight Fashion. And that's their point was that, we just never going to catch on with the mainstream, so, there you go. And they had a big hit on that album, which surprised them. And then the band kind of broke up after that. Kevin Raleigh was in that band. Michael Stanley was in that band. For a while, the saxophone player Clarence Clemens was actually in that band, and they had some great songs. He Can't Love You was their biggest song from 1980. Yep. Regenerative agriculture. Arctic says he was fringe weird in 2016. Now look how our standards have changed after the purple-haired armpit parade. Exactly. 100%. All right, so I married an axe murder. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, I love that. Kid, head, move. He's going to cry himself to sleep on his big pillow tonight. I'm not kidding. Look at that head. It's quite spherical. It's like Sputnik. Oh, gosh. Tell me something evil. Something you've ever done that's evil, like the seeds of the devil. Yeah, so I married an axe murder. Yeah, he will take on Big Pharma. Yeah, it was. That's what they're all scared about. So Trump, well, let's just start with the first thing. Donald Trump has threatened 25% tariffs against Canada and Mexico. Tonight, Juicy Trudeau and Scheinbaum are quaking in their boots and dresses right now. I'm not sure if Claudia Scheinbaum from Mexico is the one wearing the dress, or it's Juicy Trudeau wearing it in Ottawa. But Ottawa and Mexico City are definitely quaking in their boots today, trying to come up with a plan on how to escape the 25% tariffs that have been threatened against them for their underhanded trade practices. It is interesting because Trump did negotiate the U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. And if we're being cheated, well, Trump has a hand in that because he got rid of NAFTA and came up with U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. And so that's what we have now. So if there's a problem, part of it belongs, to Donald Trump. It's at his doorstep. But 25% tariffs, this should have Mexico frightened. Mexico is our largest trading partner, having surpassed Canada as our largest trading partner, and China with 10% tariff threats is third. The Chinese, in many respects, can absorb the 10% tariffs without increasing prices, but car manufacturers in Ottawa and car parts manufacturers in Guadalajara cannot absorb a 25% tariff. Therefore, prices will go up and sales will go down. So if you want a new automobile in America, because none of our cars are made here, except for BMWs and Toyotas, Hondas. BMWs, Toyotas, and Hondas are made in Marysville, Ohio, in California, Alabama, and in South Carolina. So you can buy those, or Mercedes. You can buy those cars or maybe some European models, but you're not going to be able to buy any cars, American brands that are all made in Ottawa or Mexico. So good luck with that. Your price is going to go up. So get it now before Trump gets inaugurated. Also, a lot of states have an inventory tax. So car sellers are socked with a tax at the end of the year. So if their lot has 40 cars on it, they have to pay a tax for every car on that. That costs them a fortune. It's just a money grab by corrupt states. And so a lot of states, a good time to buy a car is November, December, as they try to reduce the prices to get them off the lot to save them paying taxes. I'm giving Trump and the disruptors in his cabinet benefit of the doubt. We might just be positively surprised. Oh, we're going to be very surprised how good it's going to go, Meerkat. I think the Canada-Mexico thing are simply threats. I don't really expect him to fall through. If he does, they'll be short-lived. So I don't think those tariffs will stay very long. But I don't call them the disruptors. They are disruptors. I call them the Avengers because I'm seeking retribution. Retribution against all of these evil tech companies, retribution against the Department of Justice, retribution against Homeland Security, retribution against the State Department, retribution against all the criminals who violated the First Amendment, and all of those who abuse the federal government's power to abuse Americans by putting anti-abortion protesters in criminal custody for committing no crime, being set up. Also for the government setting up actors online to try to get them in trouble. The whole thing in Michigan was a setup. The so-called Gretchen Whitlas assassination was all an FBI sting operation that they created and sucked people into it. I want to see people go to jail for their crimes against Americans. It's long overdue. So Donald Trump's threatening these tariffs. The EFF has marched today on the Constitutional Court. That was a long, boring hearing. I listened to part of it when I was prepping for the news this morning. Snooze fest, to say the least. EFF trying to get justice for Minir Palapala. Not going to happen, unfortunately. And frustration is mounting over the Stilfontein mine of the Zamazamas in Northwest. Why am I the only person calling them Zamazamas? Do you notice that? Nobody in the media in South Africa is saying Zamazama. You know that's the correct term. It isn't miners. They're not miners. They're Zamazamas. When did that go out of fashion? The press just used that term forever. Zamazamas, illegal miners, Zamazamas. Now, no, it's out of fashion. Well, I can fight fashion, and I will continue to call him Minir Palapala and call them Zamazamas. So I will fight fashion. Public frustration mounts in Joburg as there's no frickin' water. That sucks. Oh, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have an appearance by Julius Malema from the EFF. Hey, how's it going, Juju? Right up here in the corner. You see him? There's Juju. He just made a pop-in appearance. It's a pop-up appearance by Juju Malema. So, Juju, are you satisfied with today's hearing about Minir Palapala? So, you went to the Constitutional Court today to get an answer about why Cyril Ramaphosa is not being prosecuted. So, let's turn now to Juju. Juju, tell us your thoughts. I think that we should burn the boys out. Juju, what does that have to do with Minir Palapala? Oh, it's all about the evil white people who pay for my Philippe Patek watches and my Rolls Royce and my beautiful suits from Brooks Brothers. Brooks Brothers, that's a cheap place, Juju. Anyway, there you go. So a little appearance by Julius Malema. Yeah, he thinks he's El Presidente, and he's not. Anyway, this message brought to you by, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, but on a lighthearted note, folks, I thought I'd share this with you.
A fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
That never gets old. It's a fucking goat. No, baby. It's just a goat. No, it's a fucking goat. Oh, I'm going to laugh in my coffin one day. It's too funny. Oh, back to the water, folks. It reminds me of the mall rats. There's a kid on the escalator. It isn't 1 year that goes by without some fucking kid getting killed on an escalator. 10 minutes later, the security's running through the mall. Some kid got caught in an escalator. See, I told you. Then Ethan Suplee comes up. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're looking at the picture of the schooner. Shannon Doherty comes up and she goes, "Oh, it's a schooner." And he goes, "Brenda, you dick." Oh my goodness. Sorry. Never gets old. What is a Juju cranial hat? Why do you keep asking that question? Make a new one. It's a rhino. No, it's a fucker. That's a good one. But you got to get it. Kids say the darndest things, man. I was watching some TikTok videos last night. Oh my God, that stuff rots your brains. I love it. Let me close down. I don't want that thing to keep coming on every time I open up. Okay, it's done. All right. There you go. Public frustration mounts. The Joburg water shortage persists. The first protest removal of the Johannesburg Water Board after ongoing water outages in the country's economic hub. The protests organized by the DA will take place on Joburg councils on Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning before the ordinary council meeting. Well, folks, 8:30 in the morning. If I broadcast it, will you tune in? Because that'll be 1:30 in the morning. So that'd be tonight. Well, the economic freedom fighters took their case to the Constitutional Court, and this judge at least asked a very pertinent question that was entertaining. So, the Constitutional Court heard arguments from the economic freedom fighters today about Parliament's decision to forego an impeachment investigation into President Cyril Ramaphosa due to the Pala issue. Now, the attorney that was speaking said correctly that the committee does the investigation and they give the recommendations to Parliament. It's up to Parliament to decide whether to do an impeachment hearing or not the committee. To which the judge said, okay, so if the Parliament doesn't do what it's required to do under law, then does the committee have the authority to go ahead with an impeachment? And the answer is no. But the question is a very good one. It's very problematic. So the National Prosecuting Authority judge has urged folks to end Zuma's abuse of the court system. No doubt about that. This one from Karen Mound. Hey, look, Karen's busy not writing hateful things about Ronaldo Khuz. And for that, we'd like to just send, a message out to Karen Mound today. Wasn't that easy? Not writing hateful things about Ronaldo Khuz and libeling him in the press. Did you feel better about yourself today?
That was easy.
See how easy that was. Actually doing news stories. That's like the second news story she's done in a row that's actually news. Yeah, of course, we know her relationship with Jacob Zuma, so I'm not surprised she's writing the story in the Propaganda 24. National Prosecuting Authority has urged Jacob Zuma's corruption trial judge to end the serial abuse of the courts by removing the former president's objections and putting him on trial. No, she got the beanie dude to cover Roman today. Oh, okay. Oh, so is that Dan Quarter? I didn't see Dan Quarter. Is Roman still in the news? These people are demonic. Folks, this guy apparently worked for G4S and was selling guns. Look how he scratched off serial numbers. Wrong turn G4S boss arrested while allegedly trying to sell a semi-automatic AR-15 to undercover Hawks agents. Mark Llewellyn Kundemeyer, 56, was arrested by the Hawks in Gauteng. It emanated from valuable intelligence received by the West Rand-based Hawks Serious Organized Crime Investigation Team on November 18th. This concerned an individual who was selling an AR-15 along with various calibers of ammunition. So they met up with him, then went to his house, and they seized a whole bunch more stuff. He claimed the rifle belonged to G4S, and he was using his company's vehicle. So the premises were thoroughly searched, resulting in the seizure of 3 additional firearms and various calibers of ammunition, surpassing 2,300 rounds. Suspect stated these firearms and ammunition belonged to G4S and that he possessed a permit for them. Follow-up investigation will be conducted to verify these claims. Well, dirty arms dealers. Dirty arms dealers. Well, lawyers for the human rights loons are still threatening to go back to court despite having been smacked down over the Zama Zama situation. Hey, there's News 24 calling them Zama Zamas. It's not just Chris. Thankfully, I'm not the only one. Yep, lawyers for human rights vowed to take SAPS to court if he continues denying food, water, and medication to hundreds of Zama Zamas underground at a disused Stilfontein mine. Let's be very clear. I realize that English is not the first language of most South Africans, so this is not intended as an insult. It's not intended to belittle anyone. But for the lawyers who seem to have difficulty understanding English, the police are not denying aid, antiretrovirals, food, water, or anything to the Zama Zamas who continue to hole up underground. They're welcome to exit the mine at any time. And in fact, they're having difficulty getting out. The police will help them come out of the mine. They are not being rescued. They are fugitives. They are being apprehended. When they surrender, then they can be processed for prosecution and detention. There's no need for lawyers to be involved, unless the lawyers want to go there and convince them to surrender to apprehension. Let's be very clear. They are not in humanitarian distress. They are criminals who must be treated as criminals or accused criminals until convicted. They must surrender to law enforcement and get out of that frickin' mine forthwith. Julie says, happy Thanksgiving Eve. It's the penultimate day before Thanksgiving. The day before the day. Or is it the day before? It's the day before the penultimate day, excuse me. Yep, tomorrow's the penultimate day. All right. Peter Steph du Toit wins World Rugby Player of the Year honors for the second time running. But Rossi Erasmus is cheated by the Northern Europe Old Boys Club, who are still hot full of Rossi. Yep. So Rossi Erasmus, despite a brilliant season in which 50-plus players were managed, all sorts of lineups all over the world, an 11-2 record, and the two losses were by 2 single points, world number 1 ranking, the Mandela Cup, the Freedom Cup, the list goes on and on, the Rugby Championship, nearly undefeated in that, an absolutely brilliant campaign that saw multiple scrum halves, multiple fly halves, a parade of wings, a parade of front rowers, and Rossi Erasmus led the Springboks to heights not seen by any team since the glory days of the All Blacks over a decade ago. Yet he is not the coach of the year. This is a disgrace to the Rugby Union, an organization that already disgraced itself by changing its name from the International Rugby Board, IRB, to World Rugby several years ago. And it still hasn't caught on. Congratulations to Peter Steph du Toit. Well deserved. Well, Planet Rugby says it's a vendetta. Colin Newbold says a World Rugby slam for overlooking Rossi's as a grudge blamed on controversial decision. They won 11 of 13 matches. Yep, and he rotated 50 players. Wow. My word, World Rugby can hold a grudge. Rossi, not named Coach of the Year, is probably the most ridiculous thing I've seen in rugby this year. In my oath, there have been some ridiculous things in rugby this year that says front row grunt. Alex Goldberg said Rossi has won 2 World Cups back-to-back, the Lions Tour, the Champions Cup, 3 of 3 from the Autumn Tour, ranked number 1 in the world, and could field another that would top the rankings, but still gets nothing from World Rugby. It's criminal. It's more than personal. It's a vendetta with them. Indeed. Indeed. Between 2001, the advent of the award, and 2014, when World Rugby was called the International Rugby Board, they tended not to announce any nominees for Coach of the Year. However, that changed in 2015 and has remained the case. Interestingly, 2024 is the first time Rossi's actually been eligible for the award since having switched back from Director of Rugby, which will no doubt send the conspiracy theorists into overdrive. Well, they're right. The level of hatred World Rugby has for Rossi Erasmus is getting ridiculous. One person wrote, Rossi's just won back-to-back World Cups, 11 out of 13 games this year, and this is what you believe is Coach of the Year? It's a joke. It is a joke. They have Player of the Year, men and women, 15s and 7s. They have Breakthrough Player of the Year, men and women, 15s and 7s. They have Coach of the Year for both sports. One coach. It's nonsense. They are nothing but an old boys club. Ladies and gentlemen, conflicting reports. Some people make claims that Stephen Kitsoff's rugby career is over. He went through a horrific surgery in which the back of his head was removed and a bone was fused into his neck. It was crazy. Stephen Kitsoff with 83 caps for the Springboks. There are reports that his career is over, but I think that may be premature. Might be another Peter Steph du Toit. Michael Sherman says his career is in the balance after the neck surgery. He had successful neck surgery on Monday, and the rest of his playing career could be in doubt. So we're waiting to see. It was a freak injury. Yep, he was part of Springboks 2019 and 2023 World Cup titles. This happened in a Currie Cup game against the Griquas in a scrum. It's a scrum penalty. Meanwhile, speaking of South African former Springbok players who left because of injury, one player left fly half because of multiple concussions. And who is that? Bambi. Pat Lambie. What's he doing these days? Pat Lambie is now in real estate. Former Springbok rugby sensation Pat Lambie is making waves once again, but this time in the world of real estate. After hanging up his professional boots in 2018 due to injuries, he's embraced a new chapter, taking on the role of sales and project coordinator for various residential developments. With a keen eye for design and passion for sustainable living, he's now set to move into his dream home with his wife Kate and their sons Jackson, Samuel, and 2-month-old Harry. There's his house. It's in the picturesque Seaton Estate on the north coast, on the east coast of South Africa, overlooking the kilometer-long Christmas Bay beachfront. Yeah, so he's into real estate. That's what Pat Lambie's doing these days, in case you were curious. Namibia is just a day away from elections. Ladies and gentlemen, 27 November 2024, Namibia goes for potentially seismic elections. Will SWAPO be voted out? Maybe. We'll see. They're preparing for a choice, mostly young and mostly women voters involved. There are 15 presidential candidates. One is a 37-year-old professor. The oldest is 72 years old and is the only woman in the race. Voting opens at 7 a.m. tomorrow, which will be midnight here. Almost 1 million of the registered voters for Namibia's general elections are below the age of 42. We are likely to see some changes here. SWAPO will probably be forced into coalition. Will Namibia have its first ever female president? Well, only if SWAPO maintains its hold on the country. And there she is, the vice president, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. Results from special early polls held for Namibia's foreign missions, Seamen and Security Service announced by the Electoral Commission indicate that her party are in the lead. Well, that's because all those people who are abroad working in embassies and security services and at ships at sea largely are beneficiaries of SWAPO largesse. So, of course, they're going to vote for SWAPO. Wait till the under 42s start voting. We'll see that. Skalkberger had a similar operation. Way too early to say. I agree, Rizla. I think it's premature, but it's being reported that his career is over. Zimbabwe plans to pay white farmers for the theft of their land. Well, we've heard this story for 15 years now. Zimbabwe plans to pay $331 million to white farmers whose land they stole as a step toward getting creditors to agree to restructure the nation's debt pile. Yeah, they've been locked out of international credit while they refuse to pay the farmers. So they're setting aside $35 million this year out of the $331 million that they owe. Zimbabwe's external debt is at $21 billion, and creditors won't give them any more money until they settle their debts with farmers, some of whom they murdered. Yeah. At least 32 Somalis die after the boat capsizes off Madagascar. Why are Somalis on a boat off the coast of Madagascar? Have you looked at a map of Africa? That is a long way from Somalia. These are criminal alien invaders, and they are, instead of going to neighboring Kenya or to Ethiopia or go to Somaliland, which is perfectly safe for them, they are headed either to Madagascar or to South Africa or Mauritius. 22 Somalis died when migrants' boats capsized off the coast of Madagascar. Second boat carrying 38 people arrived at the port de Cratière. Yeah, so anyway, very little sympathy for people who do that. Flash floods and landslides taking place in Sumatra and Indonesia. Losses of life. Rescue workers use excavators and bare hands to find disaster victims in the Karo district, one of the 3 affected in North Sumatra. Look at that mud, folks. My goodness. It's a landslide in Karo. Military and rescue officials deployed to 4 affected areas. 6 people were still missing as of this report late yesterday. Mud, rocks, and trees tumbled down a mountain after torrential rains over the weekend, and rivers burst their banks. Oh, sad news there in Sumatra. Well, folks, fire destroys more than 1,000 homes in a shantytown informal settlement in the Philippines. No, not in the Cape Flats, but in the Philippines. Fire spread through makeshift homes in Manila's Tondo district, displacing 1,000 families. It lit up like a box of matches. A massive blaze tore through a coastal shantytown, the Philippine capital, scorching makeshift wooden houses and spreading rapidly between the densely packed structures. Look at that. Oof. Residents and firefighters battle the blaze. It looks like the Cape Flats, doesn't it? Oof. Footage shows the fire from a drone. Look at that. Jeez. The scorched homes are constructed from scavenged materials, mainly wood, and balanced on stilts above the water. Oof, that's some bad mojo right there, folks. Bad mojo. Well, one died in a plane crash. Bizarre situation. Discussed this last night on John B. Wells' program, Caravan to Midnight, Lithuania, where a DHL cargo plane crashed. 3 others were wounded in the incident as the plane slid for more than 100 meters when it attempted to land at an airport in Vilnius. Cargo plane crashed on approach to an airport in Vilnius and slid into a nearby house, killing at least one person who was aboard the aircraft. 3 other people on the plane were hurt, and no one on the ground suffered any injuries. Lithuanian police spokesman said the nationality of the deceased was Spanish. The remaining crew members were Spanish, German, and Lithuanian. The cause of the accident is not yet known. The flight was operated by airline Swift Air on behalf of DHL out of Leipzig and crashed at 5:30 in the morning. It was a 737-400. The plane was 34 years old, but 31 years old, excuse me. That's not too old, but it is old. Well, ultra-nationalist right-wing candidate wins the first round, but albeit with just 22% of the vote. The top 2 candidates go on to the next round next week for Romania to pick a successor for Klaus Johannes, an ethnic German Siebenbürger from Hamannstadt, Sibiu. So, Talon Bezuidenhout has been widely dismissed as a fringe extremist, but he won 22.9% of the vote. He dismisses Ukraine, NATO, and the EU. 22.9% of the vote on Sunday, far short of the majority of 50 plus 1. So he will compete against the second-place finisher, Elena Lasconi, most likely, as results are still being tabulated. So a runoff election will take place. Unidentified drones have been swarming over U.S. military bases in Britain. More, probably Chinese garbage here again. At Lakenheath, the drones were detected over 3 bases in eastern England, the Air Force said. Directed on Wednesday and Sunday at Lakenheath, Mildenhall, and Feltwell. All of them house thousands of U.S. service members, mostly Air Force personnel. Yeah, and I've been to 2 of those. I've been to Lakenheath, and I've also been to Mildenhall. Well, non-crime hate incidents should be abolished, according to police. Former senior detective argues that significant police time is wasted while free speech is threatened by giving credence to the subjective concept of hate. Policy Exchange published a report on Monday authored by David Spencer, former detective chief inspector in the Metropolitan Police, who is now head of crime and justice at a think tank. The report claims that as well as distracting police officers from the job of fighting crime, they also cause prospective employees to lose job opportunities in the same way as a criminal record can. These non-crime hate incidents can be devastating as they may be disclosed in enhanced disclosure checks, potentially barring people who have committed no crimes from jobs in teaching and elsewhere based on nothing more than the perceptions of someone who may have inadvertently offended. He estimates that nationally more than 60,000 police hours or 7,500 full working days are being spent on these idiotic reports annually. This is censorship, totalitarian, fascist United Kingdom, and that's what happens. The police can't stop crime, deter crime, because they're busy dealing with this nonsense. The storm batters Britain, and at least 3 die as a result. Torrential rain doused most of the country, stymieing travel and widespread flooding, landslides, fallen trees, and power outages. At least 3 people were killed in England and Wales amid sweeping floods, landslides, fallen trees, road accidents, and power outages. More than 150 flood warnings were active on Monday across the entire island. That's just crazy. Thoughts and prayers to those affected. Uruguay's center-left bucks the trend. Instead of tacking right, Uruguay is tacking left, and they're replacing a right government. Interesting development there. After a campaign notable for the amiable tone from both sides, Yamandu Orsi was named the winner. In Montevideo, Uruguay, a one-time mayor and history teacher defeated the candidate of the conservative coalition that has governed for the past 5 years to win his country's presidency. Even as ballots in the closely contested runoff election were still being counted, the current president's chief of staff conceded defeat to his challenger. With sadness, but without guilt, we can congratulate the winner. Mr. Orsi's center-left party, the Broad Front, released a statement saying, "Joy will return." With just over half the ballots counted, Mr. Orsi had 784,000 to Mr. Delgado's 771,000. Seems to me like a little premature unless they know something. But that is bucking the trend of right governments taking over. United Nations is evacuating its officials from Haiti, gang-controlled Haiti. UN has ordered the evacuation staff from Port-au-Prince as clashes between armed gangs, police, and civilians armed with machetes intensified. A UN helicopter on Monday ferried evacuees 14 at a time from the capital to the northern city of Cap Haitien, with some scheduled to take flights out of the country. Wow, the main airport in Port-au-Prince was closed due to commercial flights being hit by gunfire while landing and taking off this month. United States Air Force C-130 landed in the capital on Sunday to transport American diplomats who were ordered to leave the U.S. Embassy. Most foreign embassies are now effectively closed, with staffing limited to a handful of security officials and local employees. Wow, so much for Haiti. And notice they're not going to the Dominican Republic, which is right next door. Donald Trump vows a 25% tariff on Mexican-Canadian exports or imports into America and 10% on the Chi-Coms. Ooh, President-elect Trump has vowed to impose steep tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico to combat illegal immigration and fentanyl trafficking. Yep. Wow. He said in a series of social media posts yesterday that one of his first actions after being sworn in on January 20th would be to sign executive orders imposing tariffs on Canada and Mexico as well as China. Well, there you go. The Trumpster is threatening. Well, what does that mean, folks? What does that mean? Well, the U.S., where does it do its trade? The largest trading partner used to be Canada. For decades, it's now Mexico. Mexico is our major trading partner with $1.3 trillion worth of goods from the three countries. That's a big impact. So let's take a look at Mexico. They have about a third of that, $475 billion in goods from Mexico last year. And we exported $323 billion to them for a $800 billion relationship. Canada is our second largest trading partner with $418 billion in goods from Canada here, with $354 sent the other way, so just a little bit smaller. And the Chi-Coms are our third largest trading partner with $427 billion in goods last year, and we've only sent them $148. That's the problem. We have a major trade deficit with all three, but especially with the Chi-Coms. Trump's team will revive fossil fuels and end Biden's policies. Renewable energy advocates are prepared for the challenges, as they should be. With Chris Wright to run Energy Department, Governor Doug Burgum to lead the Interior Department, and Representative Lee Zeldin to lead the Environmental Protection Agency, we are getting ready for energy dominance. America will dominate. Dominate. Well, a judge has dismissed... Oh, they changed the title. A judge has dismissed the Jack Smith bogus lawsuits against Donald Trump. Over $50 million squandered by this illegal appointment of Jack Smith as a special counsel, violating federal law. A judge on Monday granted special counsel Jack Smith's request to dismiss the federal election case against Donald Trump. But the order by Judge Chutkin did not dismiss it with prejudice. The case should have been dismissed with prejudice, so it couldn't be resumed, but it's dismissed without precedence. They're going to try to suspend the statute of limitations so they can try Trump when he's 82 years old and he leaves office. Well, Walmart, in a victory that Elon Musk declared over wokeism, it is a victory, but wokeism is not dead. It will continue, and we must fight it on a daily basis. The left is demonic in their obsession with the destruction of social norms and of fairness. Well, Walmart has abandoned its DEI. Well, the damage that's been done by this racist bullshit for the past several years is already too immense to calculate. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, which really means lack of diversity, inequality, and exclusion, these are under scrutiny. So Walmart has dropped theirs. The world's biggest private employer said it will roll back initiatives aimed at enhancing DEI at the workplace. They'll replace the term DEI with belonging and is no longer considered race and gender when choosing suppliers. We've been on a journey, and we know we aren't perfect, but every decision comes to place from wanting to foster a sense of belonging, to open doors to opportunities to all our associates, customers, and suppliers, and be Walmart for everyone. Well, I will tell you that I was not a major Walmart shopper, but I reduced my shopping at Walmart by 90% after the decision to be racist and give contracts only to people based on skin color and gender. They're fools. So, piss off, be gone. Well, Rand Paul gets a new task in the Senate. The Kentucky senator will be oversight chief to force votes to tighten asylum laws and probe the origins of the Wuhan flu. Kentucky Republican plans to use his new perch atop the Homeland Security panel to advance legislation to end government funding of illegal immigrant travel within the U.S. And thank goodness for that. Rand Paul is in our corner. Well, Trump says he's incredibly concerned about the escalation of munitions in Russia-Ukraine conflict with good reason. Joe Biden is trying to put us in a war. This is a tragic story. It's a horrible story of a woman who gets 25 years for fatally shooting her neighbor. This woman fired a gun through the door when there was no threat to her life, raising issues about stand your ground. You're not allowed to shoot someone just because they're present or you're arguing with them. There has to be a genuine threat to life and limb or property. There was no such thing when Susan Lawrence was found guilty of manslaughter by a jury in August after shooting a Jiki Owens in the chest through a locked door in Ocala, Florida. The white woman, she doesn't look very white to me, shot and killed her neighbor, a 35-year-old A.J. Owens, through a locked door. One shot and killed her. Miss Owens was with her 10-year-old son at the time. This is horrific. Unacceptable. Here she is. The loss of life is unnecessary. At the time she fired the gun through the door, she was safe. Pointing to the fact that Owens had requested Lawrence to come outside, suggesting she had no intention of entering her home. The shooting was based more on anger than on fear. Correct. In a statement to the court on Monday, Lawrence said she felt profound sadness for her actions. I'm so sorry that I took AJ's life. I never intended to kill her. I so wish I could go back and change things, that she was still here. This is the hazard of allowing people to have firearms who are not sound. Well, television game show host and legend and conservative icon Chuck Woolery has passed away at the age of 83. The smooth-talking game show host of Love Connection and Scrabble, as well as, what was the other, Wheel of Fortune, yeah. He became a podcaster, skewering liberals and accusing the government of lying about Rona, has died. Mark Young, his podcast co-host and friend, sent an email on Sunday that Woolery died at his home in Texas with his wife Kristen present. Yep. In 1983, he began an 11-year run as host of TV's Love Connection, coined the phrase, "We'll be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds." Yep. So, yeah, Chuck Woolery has died. Universities are cracking down on pro-terror support for Palestinian activism. Over 950 protests this semester compared to 3,000 back in the spring. They're losing their anger because they don't even know what they're protesting about. You can't hide your war crimes. Indeed, indeed, indeed. There's a great video in which Ben Shapiro looks in on a video that was made by a guy who goes on campus and asks all these questions. So you guys were chanting "River to the Sea," right? Do you know what that means? Anyway, let's see if I can find that video. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are racing to get Doge up and running in time. They're interviewing job candidates and seeking advice from experts in Washington and Silicon Valley. Gold is hit the skids as confidence in Donald Trump and his selection for his cabinet. By the way, 65% of Americans polled under the age of 40 believe that Trump is doing well in his picking of his cabinet. 59% of Americans total agree. Wow, 59 to 41. It's incredible. It's going very well compared to 2016 when he came in office. Potentially, the reduction of a conflict in the Middle East, maybe Ukraine, is rallying the market. Trump enthusiasm, and gold has taken a hit, dropping 3.3% yesterday. Spot gold prices opened at $2,715 an ounce on Monday, but fell by 3.3% at the close of business to just $2,625, nearly a $100 decline. It came after 5 consecutive days of rising prices and erased gains made in the previous 3 days. So, this is the hazard of buying commodities. They can go south. I'm not predicting they're going to go south, but they can go south. And there you have the news for today, ladies and gentlemen. 96 likes. We had 120-some people here a moment ago. We're down to 109 now. Be sure to hit that like button. Cost you nothing but a moment of your time.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was so easy to do. All right, they're going to bump heads big time. 2 alphas in the same time. I think they're going to get along okay. They'll probably target different parts of the economy. Trump should belittle Claudia Sheinbaum. That woman is a disaster. She is Pablo Charlie. You gals still know people on the bluff who are having a referendum of forming your own municipality separate to Dirt Bid. Ooh, slippery pickle. That's pretty cool. I know the bluff. That'd be awesome. Form your own municipality. That'd be awesome. Break away from Dirt Bin. Yep, and people were disappearing for food. Well, you're making me hungry telling me that. Remember to like, people. Saw that billions of people signed a petition. Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at that UK petition. Like UK election petition. It was 2.2 million in like 40 hours. There it is. UK election petition. Let's take a look for an update on that. Oh, here it is. Where is it being done at? So, 2.6 million. I would like there to be another general election. I believe the current Labor government have gone back on the promises they allowed to lead up to this election. 2.6 million. Wow. Whoa, it just gained another 100 signatures. This is cool. Here's the link if you want to check it out, folks. So this is the link if you want to go check it out when we're done here streaming. Just open up in a tab and keep pace of it. It's 2.6 million people. That's huge. You know, the UK only has like 65 million people or something like that, maybe 68 million. So, wow. And it just went up. Check this out. This is wild. I'm watching it update every couple seconds here. You'll see it update. So there you go. To 303. 2.6 million, 303,000 signatures. Call for a general election. You can sign it right there if you're in the UK. Let's watch it update. There you go. 327. Let's see what it looks like on a map. Show it on a map. Okay. That's where the signatures are coming from. Excuse me. So if, well, look at that, the Midlands. Heavy concentration in the Midlands. Also down here east of London, in East Anglia, there's a lot of people upset. But look at the Midlands, man. Woo, that's dark. Look at that. 6,500 signatures. Skipton. Wow, where's Sheffield here? Manchester. These are all the constituencies, and that's how many signatures in all of them. Wow. Look at that. 6,000, 6,000. Wow. So now we're up to, look at that. This is so many people signing this. This is incredible. This is a government-run website. It's from Parliament. Parliament has petitions. 2.67, and look at it going. Wow. Government will respond to all petitions to get more than 10,000 signatures. Parliament will respond to all petitions to get more than 100,000 signatures. They're waiting 3 days for a debate date, but they've got 2.67 million signatures. And we've watched 500 signatures get added here, and just 600 signatures be added just in about a minute. Wow, I wish I had that many people tune into my channel. 600 people in a minute. That'd be crazy. If Somalians stay at home, they won't drown. Exactly, Neville. He shouldn't play again, says Arctic. Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, he had a bad head injury. That's why he can't play anymore. Are you seeing what's going on in Ireland, folks? It's crazy what's going on. The Irish are just being excluded from everything. IRB shows its bias and dishonesty. Yep. IRB is turning Jaguar. I feel for Rossi, but stupid shit like this is good as it changes people's views of IRB and their bullshit. Yeah, well, my views were changed a long time ago. It's an old boys club, and it hates the Springboks. Many teams from outside the UK. UK has gone... What? People just turn the history page and rename it New Pakistan. Yeah, I don't know. You can sign it. Can you sign it from outside the UK? Let me see. Sign it. Now, you have to give an address in the UK. You have to give an address in the UK. Yeah, and well, people can lie about it, but I mean, you have to see, I am a British citizen or resident, which I'm not, and then you have to put your address and your postcode in here. So, yep. So it has to be UK citizens. That doesn't mean the people that aren't UK won't do it. So, well, we're up to 825. That's 825. Just comments. Christo, welcome to you. Jeremy Clarkson, vote Prime Minister. Jeremy Clarkson. I don't know about that. Anyway, so fascist Starmer will cling on to power like dodgy superglue. Yeah, I agree. Caroline Gaynor. Yo, Caroline, what's up? How you doing? So we're watching this petition slide up. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. Yeah. So even in South England, things look bad. Yeah, Hendo, they do. And down that direction, a rather nice area, but things are not looking too good now. They've given away the country. Ireland's been given away too. People cried about London. Let me go and see if I can find that thing real quick. Hang on a second. I know I sent that to Ruthie. So Ruth, there we go. Let me try to get that to come up now. TikTok. Okay, so here you go. All right, so let me play this, okay? And so here you go.
Welcome to Gaza graduation. Let's see how much students actually know what they stand for.
If you get them right, you win $100. First question, have you guys chanted from the river to the sea?
Yes.
Okay, which river, which sea?
The Sea of...
So you don't know the
No.
And the answer was the Mediterranean and the Jordan. What does Hamas say their #1 goal is according to their charter?
They just wanted to free Palestine.
It's to murder all Jews around the world. How many years did Israel occupy Gaza?
Late 1800s, the entire time.
Since 48.
It was actually under Egyptian control for the first 20 or so years, and then Israel actually left Gaza in 2006.
I'm shocked. Wait, they left?
What does Antifada revolution mean?
I don't know what that means.
But you've chanted it?
Yeah.
It's like a global call to murder Jews.
Wow. Wow.
Did you know you said that?
No.
Would you say it again?
Probably not.
Students don't seem to know what they stand for. So wouldn't it be great if these expensive colleges actually taught them something?
The thing is that those expensive colleges are teaching them something.
They're teaching them hate, 100%. Yep. So that's a good video. Yeah, it just shows you. It's just nonsense. A bunch of idiots on campus don't know what they're talking about. Ignorance is incredible. Yeah. Yeah. As I said from the very beginning, when they're like, Israel out of Gaza, I'm like, what are you, morons? They left in 2005. He said 6. It's 2005 when they left. It's ridiculous. Israel doesn't occupy Gaza. They turned it over to the Palestinians 2 decades ago, and they turned it into a launching pad to launch rockets at civilian hospitals, schools, clinics, kindergartens, kibbutzes, residential areas. That's what they did with it. No, ignorance is not bliss. Debbie, how's it going, Debbie? How you doing? Hey, what's this? I got this from something. Let me see what this is. That's the Marine gave that to me. Okay, cool beans. All right. Sad about the death of Brayton. Yeah, I covered Brayton Breitenbach's death. Yeah, he died in France, which is where he lived for a long time. Didn't George Orwell say something about ignorance? He probably did, Slippery Pickle. Orwell was a pretty smart guy, but I don't recall. Okay, but to be fair, when I was at university, I could not care less about politics or geography unless it was geography of the pretty blonde sitting in the front row. I don't know if it's geography, if it's more landscaping. Well, I cared. At 17 years of age, I ran a political campaign and got my friend elected to the city council in Athens, Ohio, at Ohio University. I cared. Always cared. There will be no war with Russia. Putin is ruthless but clever, and the American people will never support it. I hope those scenarios can happen, but that's my hope. Well, yeah, I think that's the odds on, but the escalation of this thing is clearly quite frightening. What Joe Biden is up to is frightening. Let me just double check, make sure I'm getting messages about what's going on. Oh, I do have a message. Oh, gosh, I hope it's not anything bad. Okay. That's not where it's at. No, it's nothing. It's just nothing there. Yeah, Starmer is a crazy lunatic. It's more focused on determining the amount of brandy I could consume and still pass my degree. Well, see, that's part of the problem, Arctic, and that was my problem at 17. Not consuming brandy, but the landscaping that I was talking about, the aforementioned landscaping. So I didn't focus on school, and so I came back when I was ready. So anyway, yeah, I was moving stuff around last night, and I came across this again. I suppose I ought to do something with it. You know, I got the certificate somewhere. I don't know where the certificate's at, somewhere around here, but this Distinguished Service Order Gold Medal from the Government of Liberia. I need to really, I don't know, put that in a frame or something, you know. I don't know why I don't. I'm kind of a humble guy, so, but you're probably going, you're not humble, you're showing off your medal. Yeah, I guess I am showing it off. Check it out. I believe only 19 individuals were ever awarded this by the government of Liberia in 200 plus years. And I'm one of them. Yeah. The so-called colonel. The frauds are so funny. They make themselves so obvious. Yep. The so-called colonel. Yeah, one of the 19 people in 2 centuries to be awarded that decoration. That's kind of cool. Don't pay attention in class. Well, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not be flying on an aircraft with Arctic. I'm just telling you that. It's a nice honor. Yeah, I should, Abby. It's pretty cool. But I should frame the certificate too. Also, it's too big to scan. I'm going to have to scan it in pieces, then stitch them together. So this came in the mail. I think I know who this is from. It came yesterday. I showed this yesterday. I'm not going to play it because it's got like a little kid sound, but the ears go up and down. It covers its eyes and everything. So it's an elephant. I presume it was a gift to point out that I remember things like an elephant. I hope that stays true. That's a big part of my stock and trade is my memory. So this also came, and this I will treasure immensely. In fact, it's time to open this up. If I don't have to cut it, can I just tear it open? Yeah, let's see how these taste. Okay, it opened. Let's see. These are made in America. Okay. There we go. Different. Tasty. My dealer must be doing something else. Rotang 69, Whip 69. Thank you for subscribing. So, oh, Charles, stop it. It's not real then. It sure looks real. Sure tastes real. But my dealer is Arctic, so yeah. South African alcohol. The only South African alcohol I'm going to drink might be brandy, Bonfine, or some Amarula. Well, I'm not drinking beer. Yes, Russia is a South African informal ally. Carol Ann Gaynor says should definitely frame. Well, Carol, I've got a bunch of these things, but this one's kind of cool. It's a national award. I have a state award from the state of Hesse. It was a long time ago, early 1990s. Yeah. That's tasty, folks. Nobody drinks. Actually, a lot of people do. Vitblitz will wash it down, says Charles. I definitely need something to wash it down. Imagine a cheese girl flying a commercial plane, more worried about the big... What are you going on about, Chris? Charles says it's not real dual voice then. Thank you, if you're still here. Anyway. Oh, no, I'm sure it's not. But hey, now I need to get some floss out. Anyway, yeah, so I was looking for something last night. I appeared on John B. Wells' program, Caravan to Midnight, talking about the Russia threat and all that stuff. I don't know if anybody caught that on John B. Wells last night. If you didn't catch it live last night, I think you have to be a member because they make it for members only after the fact. But anyway, I was on there last night, and I was supposed to be on Alex Newman. Let me see if I can see if they ever found that. Let me see, Alex, A-L-E-X, Alex Newman. Okay, see if they ever sent me the link. Okay. Nope, they never sent me anything. Interesting. Let's see if it came up today. Hendo, are you here? Did you see it? That's last year. Rumble. Okay, that's where I'm at. Oh, okay, cool. I'm on there. Patriot TV. Okay. All right, so I'm on Patriot TV. Let me see if that's on Patriot. P-A-T, P-A-T. Okay, got it. Well, let me see if I can find where it's at. What if you got to be a member? Looking for the lineup here. There's Alex. So his thing is on here Saturday and Sunday. I'm just looking if it loads. It's on. Oh, I can't watch it there. Oh, here I am. Okay. So, yeah, you can find me on here if you want to go check it out. So I was on Patriot TV. So let's go ahead and move that over here. Liberty Report, that's where I was. Okay. So, oh, we had Alex Jones on there too at some point, but here I'm on here. Okay, let's reduce this and go over here. All right, so there you go. So, if I can watch this. I don't know if I have to pay for it. If I do, I'll just go back to the Rumble. Okay. There's Alex Newman, for those you know Alex, with General Flynn. Glenn Beck. Alex Jones. You won't see me on there yet.
World War III on the horizon? I certainly hope not. But hey, Joe Biden is maybe, or his handlers at least, sleepwalking us into a potential much broader war involving Ukraine and so much more. Thank you for joining us here on the Liberty Report today. It is a great honor to be with you. And we have a very special guest joining us to talk about all this and much more. His name is Colonel Chris Wyatt. He is retired now, but he was with U.S. Army Military Intelligence. He was a foreign area officer for sub-Saharan Africa. He's got all kinds of experience all over the world in Army intelligence and serving overseas. He served as senior military advisor to the U.S. mission to the African Union. He's lived in all kinds of countries: Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, Ethiopia, and the list goes on. And he also taught at the Army War College on Africa issues. Chris, it's great to have you. Thank you very much for joining us. I saw you commentating on what is going on right now with Russia and Ukraine. Of course, Biden has authorized these missile strikes into Russian territory from Ukraine. Putin at least is saying that American military personnel have to be involved in this because the Ukrainians don't even know how to work that stuff. And he's saying that this makes the United States, at least our military, a legitimate target in this war. And there is now more and more talk about nuclear escalation. How concerned should we be?
Well, Alex, it's great to be back. I think we should be very concerned about this situation. What is Joe Biden up to here? He's doing everything he possibly can. I'm beginning to wonder, does Ukraine actually have something on Joe Biden? I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but now he wants to relieve their debt. The last moments, he could have done that a couple of years ago. He could have done it before the conflict. And this is a major, folks need to pay attention. This is a major escalation. The ability of Ukraine now to have the authorization from the President of the United States to use ATACMS to fire into Russian soil. These are missiles that travel 300 kilometers, 190 miles. This is not for defense of Ukraine. This is for offensive action into Russia to destroy their capability. And then on top of that, quite frankly, something I find very repulsive and immoral is authorizing Ukraine to use anti-personnel mines. Now, the United States in the late 1990s did not sign the Iowa Treaty, which banned the use of anti-personnel mines. They're inhumane and traditionally. Anyway, that's where it's at, folks. So if you want to check it out, you can do that at your leisure. At your leisure. I see some people dropping off here. What are you guys saying here? Study shows that sexual promiscuity is directly related to cultural decline. Yeah, sure, that's probably true. You guys going on about the bill tongue. Debbie, did you hit a deer somewhere? Army, anything that doesn't come from the Army is 5-star Michelin chef. Yeah, agreed, Art, agreed. North Korean General Buck apparently is injured recently by Ukraine. All right, yeah, awkward Leon. Yeah, I haven't seen it. In the middle of the conversation, the whole thing just went dead. Their feed went dead. They're using a different service I'd never used before, so it was kind of awkward. I had to use Chrome to get into it. I hate that. Restream does the same thing. You can only get Chrome to work. Nothing else will work. So, yeah, please go check it out and hopefully put some traffic on there so they'll get me back. That's in high company. I didn't know Alex was interviewing those big names like Alex Jones and General Flynn and all those others. So I'm in good company there. I didn't know that. So pretty cool. The Dems are mental enough to encourage World War III just despite Trump. Yeah. Wow. Wow. You don't age, Chris. What do you mean I don't age? From that to this? That was yesterday or Friday. Wait. Well, not Friday. When did I do that? Yeah, I think on Friday the interview. What's happening next year? Are you working for Trump or launching your own streaming service? Well, Arctic, those are good questions, and both of those are actually possibilities at the moment. Without going into any detail, both of those are actual possibilities. So we'll see. There's a third possibility and a fourth. Fourth, nothing changes. By the way, I've got Christmas lights hanging from the top. I thought I could plug them in, but I'm actually using that outlet, so I can't plug them in. Either I leave my on-air light on or I put the Christmas lights on. So saw a Cybertruck last week. It won't last 3 days in Africa. No, it won't last 3 days in London, let alone Africa. Watch the YouTube channel called Task and Purpose, and they were talking about the North Koreans. Very good explanation as to why North Korea is getting involved in Ukraine. Well, the short answer is that because they need money and food, and Russia can provide that. So that's the short answer. There's a more complicated answer, but that's the short answer. Playing Dodge car with suicidal deer, the light rain was talking about. Yeah, I know. That's why I have to be really careful. We demand you be appointed South African ambassador, says Neville. Well, that's pretty cool. So professional. When one of us wins the lottery, we need to get the colonel a media team and exposure he deserves. Well, thank you, Light Rain. That would be awesome. So it's look, I mean, I'll tell you, if we go mainstream, my views won't change, my analysis won't change, but my potty mouth will be cleaned up a little bit. I'm not gonna. I'll tell you what, yeah, borders are. Well, Tom Homan will do a fine job in that. I'm not going to compete with Tom Homan. But I mean, if we go mainstream with someone helping produce an actual channel, then things like this won't be the order of the day. I'm just saying, I really couldn't do this on a channel like that. So.
A fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
That kid is so adorable. No, I can stream. I can stream from Pretoria, from Hatfield. Absolutely. I'll just keep it short. We do shorter ones, you know. I don't think that Cyril Ramaphosa has any idea who I am. I'm pretty sure that Ronnie Lamola has no idea who I am. I do know that some people know who I am. It's definitely the case. So I don't know if I told you this before, but when now you can say, fine, you know what you're talking about, you're crazy, you don't know. But I mean, remember, folks, I've been trained in counter surveillance. I've done all kinds of things. So it doesn't mean I'm perfect. I get it right every time, but I've picked up a tail from time to time, and place to place when I've lived. So when I came back to South Africa in 2022, when I left OR Tambo, not Cape Town, but OR Tambo. When I left OR Tambo, I had somebody follow me for a couple days. Just 2 days. Just 2 days in around Joburg and Pretoria. But yeah, it's definitely happened. That was the first time. That's so funny. I thought it was funny. If it's just a goat, why is it eating the flowers? I don't know. It's a flower-hungry goat. Well, goats eat flowers. That's what they do, man. They're just annoying. Yep, it's a special breed of goat. That's right. Never gets old. It is too adorable. The innocence is too funny. I like the little one. The kid's like can barely talking about this. Like, be a good girl. I will not be a good girl. I'd be a bad girl. It's just so funny. Those TikToks. Durko will have a shift, a crap fit of American accent, Paul Kruger beard, white guy walked out. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Well, it'd be even funnier in my first meeting if Ronnie Lamola comes in when I go for my accreditation. I present my credentials. Here's my credentials. I present them to the Durko, and I meet the director. I meet the minister, Ronnie Lamola, and I greet him. I say, "Hoi dag, hochhandit." He'll fall over, and then if I followed up like "Dumelera," what's the jung? He'll probably wet himself. Oh, what are we in for now? What are we in for now? This guy isn't like Lana Marks. He actually knows a few words. He can speak some African. we got to be careful what we say around him. Kudos. I didn't know kudos love flowers. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's not good. Chris says, you mean Jan Smuts. Well, it wasn't Jan Smuts for very long when I used it. They changed the name pretty quickly most of the times I've flown in there. But yes, I know what you're saying there. Well, the one in PE is David Sturman, isn't it? David Sturman is the one in PE. David Sturman, yeah, one of the resistance fighters from back in the day, one of the Khoi. Anyway, yeah. So, it's a fucking goat. Real African is to talk heaps of cock. Yeah, enjoy watching Republican senators taking on the woke. Oh, there was a brilliant one. Oh my gosh, I'd have to find it. It's like a guy walks up and says, I have a message. I'm Senator so-and-so, and my pronouns are Republican majority. My pronouns are Republican majority. That's so funny. Well, Chris, the problem with calling Jan Christian Smuts is that many Boer and Afrikaners don't like Jan Christian Smuts. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what you call the airport, you're going to piss somebody off. You call it the Joburg Airport, you call it Jan Christian Smuts Airport, you call it OR Tambo Airport, somebody is going to be unhappy. So just speak Fungalo. I don't know that language. I'd never worked in the mines, so I don't speak it. Anyway, enjoy watching the. Oh yeah, I already said that. Yeah, but it's so funny. He walked up the podium. I'm Representative so and so or Senator, whatever it was, and my pronouns are Republican majority. Good stuff. Good stuff. You got to love that. Shadow banning. I mentioned earlier that I can't recommend your channel in other chats. Even when I mix up the title of your stream, it disappears. See? I didn't know that, Light Rain. See that? Wow. Look at that. Wow. That's some serious, I mean, that's demonic. I mean, why do they do that? I mean, what's the problem? It's just a little audience of 20,000. We got 93 people here right now. It's not like we're changing the world. We're trying, but, it's not quite happening. So Elon Musk posted when Walmart dropped its DEI nonsense that we've won. We haven't won, Elon. We have not won anything. And I correctly stated when I responded to his tweet that what started when a school board covered up the rape of a girl in Virginia and picked up pace when you and a consortium purchased Twitter and reached a crescendo when Trump won re-election is a war that is not over. These are battles, significant battles in turning the tide against demonic wokeism, but it is not over. It is not over. They are regrouping, they are reassessing, they are raising funds, they are getting lawyers ready to file lawsuits, anything that normal people try to do to stop their nonsense. It doesn't matter to the left that Navajos voted the majority for Trump when he only got 10% last time. This time he had almost 60% of Navajo vote. It doesn't matter that gay men voted overwhelmingly for Trump. It doesn't matter that the majority of Hispanic men voted for Trump. It doesn't matter that double the number of black men voted for Trump. It doesn't matter that Trump won the Christian vote, the evangelical vote. He got 94% of the evangelical vote. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he won a majority of white Americans. It doesn't matter that he nearly won a majority of Hispanic Americans, or that he did very well with Asian Americans. It doesn't matter to these demonic lunatics. They will do everything they can to turn back time. That sounds like a Cher song. Yes, that's what they want to do. These sick, twisted individuals will never change. And by the way, let's talk about Besant. Okay, you guys want to talk about, who that is? This is, what is it, Bessart, what's his name? The new dude who is, I write these notes down from last night. I know this, but I just want to make sure I don't miss any of these notes. So this is last night. So, yeah, so Scott Bessart, okay? He's Trump's treasury pick, okay? So Wall Street loves him. So already I'm suspicious, okay? So I did a little research because I didn't know much about him. And so I did some research. Okay, so he's a billionaire. But the reason he's a billionaire is because of, anybody know why he's a billionaire? Does anybody know why Scott Bessart is a billionaire? Don't tell me because he's investments. I know it's because he's investments. He's a hedge fund manager. That's how he got wealthy. That's not why he's wealthy. That's how he got wealthy. But the reason he is wealthy is because I was there. It was a great interview. Oh, Julie. Yeah. Julie, you were there. Yeah. Oh, you mean with John B. Wells? Yeah, you know the answer then because I mentioned it. So you can't answer, Julie. I didn't realize you were there, Julie. Yeah, Julie. Thank you, by the way, for promoting my stuff. By the way, in the future, I need to get Brendy to not put up my Facebook page because that just put up a YouTube channel, the Twitter and the YouTube channel. Anyway, so Scott Bessart, he began in the investment world working in 1991 for George Soros. He is one of the architects of Black Wednesday, which nearly destroyed the Bank of England and crushed the pound sterling. When the Europeans, when the Brits had to pull out of the European exchange rate mechanism, Black Monday, it cost the British exchequer billions of dollars. And by shorting the pound, by betting $10 billion against it, George Soros made over $1 billion in one day. And he's still famous for that. A lot of people in the finance world are impressed by him. I'm not. He's a scumbag. So Scott Bessart worked for him, and he's one of the guys who pushed for shorting the British pound and nearly collapsed the British economy when John Major was the prime minister. So he left Soros in 2000, and he was back at Soros from 2011 to 2015. He left in 2015 to form the Key Square Group, whatever it's called there, in 2015. But how did he do that? George Soros gave him $2 billion to start a hedge fund. So he owes his existence to George Soros. We all know how much we love George Soros, right? Yeah, so this hedge fund, which he put together, made him a billionaire. It didn't make jack shit for its investors. In 2017, the $2 billion plus whatever else invested, I don't have those figures, had grown to $5.1 billion by 2017. Not bad in 2 years. But by 2023, the number of institutional investors had dropped from a couple hundred down to just 20, and the value of that fund had dropped by 90%. Only $577 million in value last year. So people lost their ass under this guy who's so-called brilliant economist or brilliant finance guy. Yeah. So before people get too excited about him, there are things to not like about him. He is an acolyte of George Soros. An acolyte of George Soros. So what do you think about that? That's Donald Trump's treasury pick. That's why they're not complaining. A couple of things. CNN, I listened to there's a thing on there, this gay reporter on there. Oh, this guy's terrible. He's terrible. Oh, another Trump pick. He's terrible. Oh, he's a billionaire hedge fund. Oh, he's robbed people. Yeah, dude, he's gay. Oh, he's gay. Oh, well, that makes it more complicated. Now maybe he's okay because he's gay. Well, I thought he was terrible. I didn't know he's gay. Now I have to think about this. Can you believe it? Honestly, flipping a switch just because he's gay. So if you bring a person on who's thoroughly reprehensible who happens to be white and a dude and they say something stupid, I'm not going to go, oh, they're also from Pennsylvania. I guess I'm going to like them. Or, you know what? He's a heterosexual. That way he can say and do what he wants now. What moron is this? It's CNN. Well, he's gay, so now I got a problem. I got a conundrum. I can't just hate him. It just shows you what frauds they are. It just shows you what frauds they are. They instantly hate him because he's a Trump nominee. But then they find out he's gay. Oh, well, hell, we have to reassess this now. We have to reassess this. Is he terribly gay? I don't know. Is he flamboyantly gay? I don't know. I don't care. I forgot that he was gay. It was the last thing mentioned in a news article. I'm like, I like him because he's gay. I'm like, really? Why would you like someone because they're gay? That's not a reason to like someone. You like people because they're good people. Or maybe they do something for you, but not because they're gay. That's just silly. That's just silly. I wonder if I can find that CNN guy. Well, who's this? That looks like Danica Patrick. Who's that? Dispatching. Oh, that's a CNN person. Never mind. Who cares about her? Excuse me. Hang on a second here. Yeah, what's going on with Chester Missing? What is going on with Chester Missing? That guy is, I don't know. He's like, is he attacking people because of this, that, and the other? For disparaging the military as woke, the Legal Defense Fund has just called on President-elect Trump to rescind nomination. Oh, shut up. That's not disparaging the military. That's a statement of fact. That's a statement of fact. And why is the left suddenly not proud of being woke? They love being woke. They're proud of it. And, oh, here we go. All right. So here you go. Here's some leftists that are just angry about Trump. No sex until 2028. These demonic crap weasels, there's no way that they can go without sex that long. By the way, I would say hard pass. Hard pass. Okay. Yes, I know Chester Missing is leftist, but he's been using the K word and the N word in his performances and in his tweets, and he's trying to act like he's innocent. So yeah, so they're going after him, I think. So what I'm looking for is where's to show me what I posted here? How do I see what I posted? This is annoying. That's not what I want. I don't know how to do that on there, but now I do it on a computer. Have a 5 Rand note from 68. What? He's a wannabe Jeff. Yes, and he isn't funny. And he's just insulting. He's crass. He's rude. He's disrespectful. And obviously his comments, according to some people, are quite a racist. Let's take a look at the play. Oh, we're up to 2,670,000. We 7,000 more signatures since we started talking about the petition in the UK. Wow. Let me go to Twitter and see if I can find it this way. Yeah, he's a wannabe Jeff Dunham, and he's not funny. You're right. Alec Baldwin. He said, half the people in the country are very unhappy. It's a very difficult time. Americans are really uninformed about reality, what's going on. Says the murderer. Says the guy who got off after killing a woman.
It's a very difficult time in the United States. And I think the only way people can learn what is happening, and film is unique in this way, not only what's happening in the United States, but around the world. What's happening you might not learn from the news. Television news in the United States is a business. They have to make money. And again, not to go into great detail about that, but there's a hole, there's a vacuum.
In your head.
There is a gap, if you will,
in your brain.
Information for Americans. Americans are very uninformed about.
Oh, Americans are very uninformed. Ooh.
Reality, what's really going on with climate change.
Oh, shut up. A gas bag. Preening gas bag. What an idiot. What an idiot. Okay, so I was looking for something that I posted. So, I'm looking for it. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so this is Chester Missing. Let's see what he's got to say.
JP Smith, the DA dude, just joked that he can't say Abongile Nzilenzele's surname. Now, there's going to be a lot of debate around this because it was just a joke, but the problem is that's how racism works. We go, it's just a joke, like racism's medical aid, and say...
Yeah, like you using the N-word repeatedly with your dummy who's brighter than you, or using the K-word in your tweets. That's how racism starts, Chester.
It's just a joke, it's the fine print where you squeeze the racism through.
You jealous? Why am I jealous? Because you can't say nigger.
All right, we're going to stop that right there. Stop that right there. Yep. Yeah, and he runs through that saying that foul word. Yep, he says it over and over again. Then he uses the K word. So I'm going to put it on mute so you don't get I don't get a copyright claim here. So that's vile, repulsive language. That's news reporting, folks. I'm not saying those things. I don't endorse those things. That's Chester missing. That's Chester missing. That guy is wow. Anyway, yeah, that's so. This is interesting. Check this out. This is what is being said in Germany. So you're going to have to read the I think it has English subtitles. I listened to this in German, but listen to this nonsense. These are Muslims living in Germany.
Die sagen, ich will hier keine Scharia in Deutschland. Das ist Schwachsinn. Jeder, der sich
den Islam verändern. Du bist für authentischen Islam, so wie er ist.
Jeder, der sich als Muslim bezeichnet, muss die Scharia wollen auf der ganzen Welt. Ich will die Scharia in Deutschland auf jeden Fall.
Würdest du die deutsche Verfassung aushebeln, wenn du die Gelegenheit hättest?
Auf jeden Fall.
Okay, danke. Wie zum Beispiel? Wie könnte...
So he says all Muslims must demand Sharia all over the world. I demand Sharia in Germany. He says, would you annul the German Constitution if you had the opportunity? Of course, they must all be Muslims.
Könnte man jetzt aus Deutschland einen islamischen Staat machen? Wie zum Beispiel?
Laut den Werken ist das so, dass man, wenn man in der Mehrheit ist, wie Sie auch erklärt haben, sind wir dafür befohlen, Deutschland einzunehmen, auf jeden Fall.
Also es ist ein Moslem, das ist eine islamische Pflicht.
So, how would you do this? Well, the way the law is, we just have to be the majority. We will be the majority, and then we'll occupy and take Germany.
Auch Deutschland einzunehmen.
Auf jeden Fall.
Ich respektiere deine Ehrlichkeit und du bist ja gegen die Liberalen, die jetzt sagen, nein, das stimmt nicht und wir sollen hier in Frieden leben.
Was passiert da mit Homosexuellen?
Wird laut meines, ich glaube, die werden von einem Berg runtergeschmissen.
Also ist ein
So he says, what happens to homosexuals? Well, I think that they'll need to be thrown off of mountains is what he says. Wow. The religion of peace.
Im islamischen Staat waren es Hochhäuser, haben sie runtergeschmissen, also Todesstrafe auf jeden Fall, ne?
Wow. So this is happening in Germany, it's happening in the UK, it's happening in Ireland, and this is all because of Angela Merkel and her scumbag behavior. Yep, and the tolerance of this garbage. Yep. So while police are out busy arresting 9-year-old children for posting Facebook comments and memes, and innocent citizens are placed in jail, this is what's happening to criminals who are assaulting police in the UK, and there's no action against them. Not one Englishman, Scot, Brit, or Irishman in the crowd, just criminal alien invaders, and this is what you get when you turn your country over to them. Wow. So this is what the mayor of Tucson had to say, a city I used to live near, another resistance fighter.
Dear Tucsonans, as your mayor, I want to reassure every single resident that I am committed to do all we can to keep our community safe. I am deeply troubled.
Only she's not committed to safety for the public. And she cares about residents, not citizens. Residents, not citizens or green card holders, which I mean criminal alien invaders. She's deeply troubled because her leftist world is crumbling. Trump will eviscerate this. Tom Homan will have her in bracelets. I hope that she has watched Orange is the New Black because that's her new dress of choice.
By President-elect Trump's plans for mass deportation. I believe they are cruel and immoral. I will work.
That's because you're a moron and an idiot all rolled in one. And the fools that voted for you deserve the misery they're suffering with home invasions, break-ins, and all the other things.
Work with our police chief to make sure that our focus remains on protecting and serving Tucsonans.
And she can't even say that. Look at her looking at the teleprompter. She doesn't even know what she's saying. She's a puppet. She's a useful idiot. A puppet. She doesn't even know what she wants to say. I will look into the camera right now and not read a teleprompter. And I will tell you this, Mayor of Tucson, you're a criminal and they are coming for you. You've already made your case clear. You've made your intent clear. You have admitted to the world that you will violate federal law. Therefore, the bracelets are coming for you. So get your affairs in order. They are coming for you. Tom Homan and the deportation squad, the Avengers are coming for you. The Trump deportation service will happily put you on the bus as well, or simply send you to Leavenworth. But you and Michelle Wu and Gavin Newsom and all the other criminals who seek Paulus and, of course, Mayor Brandon in Chicago, all of you who seek to undermine the rule of law in this country will learn the hard way what it's like to run your yaps and threaten public safety. Now, there's no teleprompter there. That all came direct from my brain to my mouth, unlike this twit who is the mayor of Tucson. Who votes for idiots like this? You ought to have your head checked. Maybe there ought to be a qualification to be able to vote. This is what you voted for.
Here in Tucson, we know how to stand up and fight against hate and racist law.
Hate and racist laws. The hatred is allowing criminal alien invaders to come into the country and undermine the wages of working Americans. The hate is to allow people to come in and bifurcate our societies with alien cultures that have no interest in integrating into our society. We welcome people who come to our society and contribute their unique aspects to our society and our culture. We do not tolerate criminal alien invaders. There is no race. There is no hate. You are a moron and must be removed. And I will look forward to the day that you're arrested. And I'll tell you right now, I used to live in Arizona. And if in fact Tom Homan makes a raid and they arrest her, I will make it my mission to arrive in Tucson to be at the courthouse for her arraignment, just to shame this scumbag mayor. There you go. What do you think about that?
Part of our history is coming together with our faith leaders and other organizations to protect children and families from separation.
That's not part of our history. That's just made up gobbledygook. And she doesn't even know what she's saying. She has to look at the teleprompter. That's enough. I can't stomach any more of this twit. What a twit. What a twit. Yep. Wow. So did you see this? I'm going to have to pause the music because I'll get a copyright. This is the USS Mackinac Island. This is what our Navy is spending time doing. Not, gunnery, not drills, not, survival, not self-defense, not radar missions, not search and rescue. That's not what they're doing. This is what our Navy is doing. And so they're going to go after Pete Hegseth for telling the truth. This is what the Navy's up to. You ready for this? I'm going to have the music on, but then I'll stop it because I'll get a copyright. So here you go. Look at the Marines and the Navy folks on board this vessel. It looks like all Navy here. Look at that. They're celebrating Pride. Yeah, look at that. All smiles. Yeah. Oh, their diversity. Don't care about what their capability and operations are. It's all about diversity as they tell their personal stories. Happy Pride Month. Look at that. That's yeah. In the Navy, you can sail the 7 seas in the Navy. Yeah, so I know that I'm still shadow banned on Twitter because they've never taken the hammer off my account. It's still blocked. Most people don't find it. So I can tell you that because I wrote a better piece than this guy who has 2,700 subscribers in South Africa. And he wrote something about how it's criminal that Rossi wasn't named Coach of the Year. Well, mine's a little more thorough and has a good photo of Rossi. And I have 114 people have looked at it. So on Twitter, I'm still harassed on Twitter, even though Elon Musk runs it. Anyway, so just telling you the truth there. So, any country should deport all non-citizens without valid visas. Correct. Die amerikanische Wirtschaft wird nächstes Jahr zusammenbrechen. Nein, falsch. Falsche Richtung, falsche Nachricht. Weder ein Demokrat noch ein republikanischer Führer können es aufhalten. Ihr habt zu viel für Kriege ausgegeben. No, we're not spending money on war. No. We've given too much out in benefits. That's the problem. We are not going to collapse next year, Arthur. Thank you for that, but it ain't going to happen. We're going to save our economy next year. That's what's going to happen. So, Anyway, all right, folks. I think that's more than enough. We're approaching 2 hours. Twitter is dead. Dude, so it's just Blue Sky again. Blue Sky's a joke. I'm on Blue Sky. Just like Threads. Remember Threads? Threads. Oh, my goodness. Threads is nothing. Nothing. And Blue Sky will be nothing, too. Just like Mastodon is nothing. All these, supposed things. Just like Twitter. Twitter's dead. Okay, well, Parler they wiped out. Gab never went anywhere. True Social never went anywhere. None of them go anywhere. Twitter is the OG, and it's going nowhere. And now that it's a free speech platform mostly, it's gaining a lot of traction. It's had more people watching on Twitter. More money is being made on Twitter now than it's ever been in the past, despite the lies the media have said about Elon Musk and about that site. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it. Thanks for being here, and really appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, and thanks for the no super chats and no new members. But we did get a few subscribers. I think that was because of the video they were watching on Julius Malema. So I've got another one to talk about the march, but I've got some errands to run. I don't know if I get to it till tonight, so it'll probably show tomorrow. You live in a world where people respect the law. Oh, wait, no one does. Yeah, that's true. No one does anymore. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Appreciate you being here. And, wow. PK just show up, or what's going on? Anyway. All right. I'm hungry. You're welcome. Your mom says thanks to wishes. You're very welcome. Good evening, Arthur. Yeah, you're very welcome, Neville. Very welcome. And happy birthday to your mom once again. All right. And happy belated birthday to Sean Folshank. Right. All right. Where is the closing here? Looking for it. I've got something open here. I can't find my files. There it is. Cheers, everybody.